So as a little kid, it was really my parents always, because I'm a third generation of a Holocaust survivor. So I was really exposed to it as a kid because my grandpa was in the Russian army and my grandma was helping out with them. I was just really exposed to it and I was always aware of it. And I think that kind of in some ways ruined it for me because growing up with it kind of, it never seemed to be okay that 6 million people died, but like it seemed to be like, okay, it was the past. And it's just hard to picture 6 million people in front of your eyes because let's say when I see a room of 270 people, imagining they're just all gone is scary enough. Imagining that your best friend, your mom, your dad, your neighbor, the old man who was walking across the street is gone is just hard enough. And I just could never picture 6 million people in front of my eyes. And like I was in school back in Israel, we were really exposed to it too. But getting in Canada, kind of had a break from all of it because we don't really go over it in school here as much. And then coming to the program kind of had my refresher. I was a little more grown up about it, and sitting in class just, it still hurt, but it never got to me really emotional. Like I've never cried over it, but going to the museum, just stepping my foot in, I remember I saw the first video and that just caught my attention, looking at those bodies thrown, like people were treated not, they weren't even treated, or it just really hurt inside knowing that that could have been my mom, that could have been me there. And two things hit me really hard, or the shoes, especially when you look at the shoes and you just, like, you think those pieces of fabric were treated better than the person in them. That really hurt knowing. And the scientific kind of things that they did with the kids. And I remember I heard a story how they put like eye drops to change eye color and people were blind for like the next few days, and it's just terrible. I can tell it affected me in a lot of ways because we're really whiny. We complain about a lot of stuff. We complain how our life could have been better, how we didn't get that game, how we didn't get the clothes we wanted, how someone doesn't like us. And it's just looking at those people and walking through the museum knowing they didn't have a choice. They didn't have the lives that we have. They didn't have education. And nobody, they had themselves and they lost themselves too sometimes. And that just makes me look at life. Even though I'm sure it lasts a certain time, then you come back to your normal, but it's always in your head coming back to it knowing that it's just, I feel ashamed knowing that I don't appreciate my life and that is my choice to appreciate it or not, and those kids didn't have it. That makes you more grown up, looking at things on a different level and different point. Well, one of them would be when my friends make silly jokes about like Hitler and stuff. I'll know like that's not really something you should joke about. Like I know I've learned kind of through the years that it's kind of hopeless getting what I think into other people's brain because that's their thought, but if I act as my own person, like you can't be focusing on everybody around and trying to change everybody around. If it's coming from you, it's gonna shine through you and it might get to others. So I'll focus on the way I act towards things first, and I'll try to stop what I can, or at least influence, or at least saying something, because sitting aside and looking at it won't change much.